Hello and thank you for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of important information to share with you here this week, so please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, relatives, and anyone else who you think might find this information helpful over the course of the coming week. We did have a couple of different events this past week that I just want to say congratulations and thank you to those organizers. We had the annual day where City Hall is lit green in honor of Children's Mental Health Month. That's something that we want to make sure we are providing the different resources that we need for all of our children and students here. So that is something that my administration and Gardner Public Schools has always committed to make sure that our schools have the correct staffing amounts and the resources that they need to make sure that if our children are going through anything, our students are going through anything, they have the resources they need to at least reach out and make those connections to be able to see where to go next. So thank you very much to the organizers of that event who put that on every year. We also had our annual Light the Town Purple event to kick off relay season here in the city of Gardner. So thank you very much to the Relay for Life event organizing committee for putting that on. As a reminder that the Relay for Life will take place on Friday, June 10th and Saturday, June 11th this year over at the track at Mount Wachusett Community College. This is the first year in 2 years where we'll have a live in-person event for the Relay for Life again. It's great to have that community event back here and being so active again here in the city of Gardner. We also had an art show by the PTO, the Parent Teacher Organization of the Gardner Elementary School. Now that is the combined Waterford Street School and Elm Street School PTOs that are getting ready for when we have one combined school next year. So thank you very much to our students for sharing your artwork with us and to our art teachers for helping craft our students' abilities in their artwork. I was really very impressed with the quality of the art that was displayed over here in City Hall. So thank you very much to everyone who helped put that on. And just as a reminder for events coming up, we do have our annual Keep Gardner Beautiful Nip Hunt and Litter Cleanup that'll take place on Saturday, May 7th, beginning at 9 a.m. in the parking lot of Gardner Plaza. That's located right off of Pearson Boulevard near Staples. So if you're interested in joining us for that event, please feel free to stop by. It's a great way to help give back to your community and help keep our community beautiful. We do have a paving update for things that are happening here in the city. Unitil is still out on Central Street and Haywood Hospital is doing some work over on the Woodland Avenue area, but we are still set to start on Pearl Street. For Pearl Street, milling will begin on May 9th and is expected to continue through May 13th. That's when crews are going through and grinding down the pavement so that we can have room for when we put the new coats of asphalt on. The structures, so the manholes, the drain grids, all those items that are metal in the street will be raised between May 11th and May 16th, and paving will be done from May 17th through May 19th. And again, that's Pearl Street from Betty Spring Road, so a little further than we did the water project where we started a couple years ago, all the way down to Pearly Lane through the Route 140 intersection. So if you're driving through that area during that time frame, make sure you're adding some time to your commute to make sure that you can get to where you need to be on time, particularly where we have the schools in that area as well. The Route 140 work is continuing, and they've moved a lot of that work to the evening hours between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. So if you're traveling during those times, you can expect some detours and delays. If you're traveling at night, however, during the day should be fine. And then Mass DOT did begin its work milling. They've completed all the milling work over on Pearson Boulevard between the Rotary and Williams Restaurant. They'll be back to raise the structures next week and pave the week after. To give you all a heads up on how paving is going to go for the foreseeable future, please do keep in mind though that all of these schedules are weather dependent, so things can change from here to there depending on the rain. Between May 23rd and May 25th, milling will begin on Central Street, West Line Street, West Street, and Monadnock Street. So those areas will see milling work done. Those are all places that had water lines installed this past year. The structures will be raised between May 25th and May 27th on those streets. On May 31st, Central Street and West Line Street will be paved, with Parker Street, West Street, and Monadnock Street being paved on June 1st. You'll note Parker Street is not getting milled. That's because we put the first coat of pavement on last year, and we'll be putting the second coat of pavement on June 1st this year. So everything in the downtown should be done around that area. Woodland Avenue will be milled on June 13th, with its paving being done on June 17th. So there's a lot of work coming up. This schedule will be published on the city's website and Facebook page, and reminders will go out whenever that's happening so you can plan your commutes. Just make sure that you're paying attention to those so you know how to adjust your travel time if you need to. This past week, Haywood Hospital and UMass Memorial Hospital System did release that they've entered into a letter of intent to explore potentially aligning in the future. But we had a lot of people reach out with different questions as to what that means. That simply just means that those two organizations have begun talks to see if it's worth the potential on aligning themselves and becoming one system, and having Haywood fall under the UMass Memorial System in the future. Haywood is still Haywood Hospital right now. It is still its same old community-owned hospital as it has been for the past over 100 years. This is just something to see if it's worth pursuing in the future for them. So there are no big changes there right now in the city of Gardner. That was just a letter signed by the two presidents of those two organizations to see if it's worth exploring that route in the future. If you have any questions on those, you can contact Don Cassavant's office at the External Relations Office at Haywood Hospital. Crews are out this They were out this past week, and they'll be out again next week installing new sidewalks on Connor Street in between City Hall Avenue and Parker Street. So if you see some crews there and you notice the road has been closed for a while, that is part of our Community Development Block Grant program there. We're installing new sidewalks throughout the downtown, and that's our next phase in there. Later on in the summer, we'll be going down past the Yale House to Lafayette Square, where the Spanish-American War Memorial is. The City Council will be meeting in 2 weeks, but we do have a couple subcommittee meetings coming up. Some proposals that are going before the different committees include different outdoor seatings options for the summer here in the city of Gardner. So please be sure to keep an eye out for these video updates, or keep an eye out on the agendas that come up to see what different proposals get brought up for pilot programs here in the summer. There's a lot of different programs that we're going to be testing out this year to see if it's worth continuing as we move forward with the different developments that are happening in the city, particularly with the new owners of the buildings downtown, the different developments happening on Rear Main Street, and the renovations of the old Temptations and Ryan Block buildings that were announced last year too. With all that different growth that's happening, we're seeing what new ways we can do to market the downtown to bring new businesses and new people as residences into our area. I want to say congratulations to the students who will be graduating next week from Mount Wachusett Community College and Fitchburg State University. Fitchburg State will have their graduate commencement next week for all of the students receiving their graduate degrees. And then Mount Wachusett Community College's Vet Tech program will also be having their pinning next week, as well as their dental program as well. So congratulations, students, on making it that far and earning your degrees and your pins, and best of luck on your next endeavors wherever that may be. Know that Gardner will always be an available home for you here if you'd like to start a business, locate a family, or look for a nice place that's willing to invest in you. If you're willing to invest back in you for your investment in us, Gardner will always be welcome for you here. So if you're planning your future, please do keep us in mind. Lastly, I just want to throw a special plug out there that the Gardner Senior Center has partnered with Mass Hire as part of the Labor and Workforce Development Office in the Governor's Cabinet to host a job fair here in Gardner at the Senior Center located on Pleasant Street on May 18th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So if you're interested in attending that, please feel free. And if you know anyone else who would be looking for a job and is interested in attending that, or someone who's looking to hire people for their the places that they work, please contact Mike Ellis at the Gardner Senior Center, and they'll be happy to put you in touch with Scott Percival, also a Gardner resident who works for Mass Hire, to make sure that we can get all that information out there. However, that concludes this week's update. As always, if you have any questions at all about things that were said in this update, you can feel free to contact my office at any time. Thank you very much. Enjoy the warm weather that we're finally starting to see, and I look forward to speaking with you again next week. Thank you very much, and have a good day.